And just Mark, can you confirm with Facebook if we are live?
Can we just check on Facebook once again if you're live?
Sure, I will do that.
Can we just check on Facebook once again if you're...
Now it's working. Mr.
Yes.
Sachin, over to you.
Okay, great. Hello and welcome to all the wonderful audience. My apologies. We actually started, but we were having some errors on Facebook, some technical snags. So my apologies for starting a bit late. Friends, thank you all for joining to another wonderful session of the RTI University. We are here to get you some of the best information, knowledge that you could use for your journey in Roundtable and share it with your friends and bring more. We have with us today our ever-charming, humble, and one of the coolest presidents of RTI, Mr. Jayant Agrawal. We also have with us the most experienced tablers on RTI board and one of the most lively persons I've ever met, our VP, Mr. Mark Garmashausen. I request you to please put in your questions on the Facebook live chat. We have a dedicated Q&A session. Also, you could email us the questions and the university will be really happy to get the answers from the president and VP. Our email ID is universitymanager@round-table.org. What to say about our president? He has been through all walks in the association at Nepal. He was the founder of the RTI University, was the VP last year, and now our president. I always keep thinking and wondering, and now I have the opportunity to ask him this wonderful question. From where did we get? We can and we will.
Thank you, Sachin, for the lovely, lovely introduction. Not habituated to get so much of kind words at one go. But yeah, thank you so much. Well, Sachin, in the last few years that I've served in the international board or have been experiencing the international board through my national mediums, we have lived lots of themes. You know, we've shaped the future. We have been on fire for tabling. We have been all together. We have led the change. And finally, we were stronger together. But the key aspect to the success and failure of any tabling initiative is we. When we start believing and when we start following that it's not I, and we go beyond the individual proximity of we can do anything. And when you talk about we can, we will, I believe it's the self-confidence and the affirmation in you which can lead to doing anything. Even the word impossible says, I am possible, right? So just to promote this concept that we can do laurels, we keep the theme, we can, we will. And remember, Sachin, a theme is just not a theme. A theme actually works on driving, motivating, and pushing the entire fraternity towards one particular goal. On this, I believe it's not for himself as well, it's for herself, as we RTI and LCI are sharing a common theme this year as well.
Wow, that's so nice, to have the thoughts of RT and LC running together and as a family moving towards a common goal. We also have with us and are really privileged to be joined by our Vice President, Mr. Mark. His journey in tabling has been really marvelous, and he has been a part of his association at a lot of levels, as well as on the RT International Board. His experience, not only in terms of tabling, but in terms of living tabling, the way he travels, the way he connects with people, and the way he is part of all of us. I mean, that is something that when you ask someone in any country, Mark, he's saying, yeah, my family, all of us know him well. That's the of this guy. And so I would now request Mark, to share in a few minutes on, his journey in tabling.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sachin. It's a really nice introduction, and also welcome from my side. Yeah, it is a fantastic journey which started 11 years ago when I became a member of Roundtable 11 in Villach. And when you really see that, for me, Roundtable always is that I cannot just be a member. I always want to engage and I want to be active if I'm a part of one organization, and that's why I actually stepped up at a very, very young age already as national PRO, then national RO, then I discovered the international level, and I said I would love to be part in the international board. And then I became international secretary for 2 years. Then I stepped again down on local level, being area chairman in Austria, then CE chairman, and yeah, now I'm here, and I'm really, really privileged and honored to represent everyone as RTI vice president in the RTI board. And this is something what is for me really fascinating about Roundtable, because Roundtable means completely different things to everyone, and we are so diverse on an international level that you really can see sometimes really every 2 weeks meeting up with local guys is what Roundtable means for someone. You can, for example, really do networking business with Roundtable. You can do charity and service and help people in need with Roundtable, but you can also travel and discover the world. And yes, I traveled already 1 or 2 countries, and I had a chance to stay with many fellow tablers and their families. And this is what Roundtable is also for me about. When you have the chance to discover local reality, when you get a deep insight of cultures of various countries, then this is what Roundtable also means, especially for me. And yes, I will start my traveling journey soon again, and I hope I can stay with fellow tablers all around the world. And I'm really, really happy, because one of my founding members of Roundtable 11, Philak, said, the pin we are wearing is the passport to the world. Travel it well. And this is what Roundtable is, because the pin is a door opener to the world, and we should use it.
Sachin, just to add on this, when you talked about the theme weekend, we will, I think me and Mark would be a perfect example of showing why we really respect this theme, because this is something that we dreamt of. This is something that we were passionate about, and this is something that we really showed love about. And if I may say, Sachin, Mark is going to be the youngest ever president of Roundtable International. So nothing stops us except the passion and the commitment and the respect. And I think it's really, I'm very grateful to have him as the vice president in the board. But yes, that's brownie points for me, Mark. Yes, Sachin.
Really loved the passport concept, Mark, and I think we should put a digital pin on you, and everyone swipes on it, and someday we get a record on wherever you travel. So I think it's going to be a really interesting session as we move on. We are going to have a sneak peek into the current and the future of this wonderful movement, as we have the top leaders here today with us. My question to the president, you've traveled to so many tabling centers across regions, across countries, continents, cities, met so many people. We are a really diverse organization. How do you see this as a real strength for us?
I think Sachin, Mark helped me answer this question just some time back. For some, tabling is meeting and greeting the brothers. For some, tabling is doing charity. For some, tabling is promoting the business or their professional occupation. For some, tabling is personal development. For some, tabling is serving the society. This all is the reflection of diversity of cultures. The presence of more than 69 countries that we are in shows how diverse the country in Roundtable International. Sachin, just remember, in our international board, we have more than 10 nationalities that are presented. So just imagine the impact of diversity that is already present in the international board. And I'm very proud that with the 10 nationalities that we have, it really shows us different dimensions to a particular problem, and also provide.
Totally agree with you, Mr. President. And the diversity is something that has such a long binding, or such a strong binding on all of us. My experience in last 1 year really talks about it. We had a board with so many people from different countries, but we never felt by the end of the year that we were, from somewhere else. You can just pick up the phone, talk to anyone as if, you know the person from years. That's the beauty of this wonderful movement. My question to our VP, How do you see associations growing in terms of clubs, new associations? How do we see the growth happening?
That's a very difficult question, actually, Sachin, because when we were talking now about diversity, we also tried last year to establish the diversity charter where we can really try also to approach new members in various ways. But we always need to see two sides. We have, on the one side, we have expansion as a growth where we are expanding in new associations in new countries, and on the other side, we have internal growth. And here we really need to see where the focus is set. We have within Roundtable International 36 associations with less than 50 members. That is actually, tragic. And here we really need also to set an eye on. What we on the other side of last year, we, for example, had 3 new association chartered with Roundtable Albania, with Roundtable Czech Republic, and with Roundtable International E-Club. And here we definitely can see that on an external growth side, a new expansion side, we always need to have a sustainable growth. Sustainable in that way that we, in a couple of years, we don't need to support them anymore, that they are really existing by themselves and with their own. And that's why we always need to be more critical and more strict in regarding of new charters, that we really see that we do not need to close the table down in a couple of years, because they were just a couple of friends and then they lost track and everything collapsed. And this is what we don't want. We want to have sustainable growth in an expansion side. On the other side, with the internal growth, we really need to see, we have the small associations with sometimes maybe 1 club, 2 clubs, 3 clubs, whatever. But we also have big associations which lost members in the last years, and huge numbers of tables. And here we definitely need also to set an eye on. Just to mention 2 associations, we have, for example, Roundtable France, which had over 4,000 members a couple of years back. Now we are facing 2,500. We had RDBI, our mother association, where Roundtable International existed and was born. And here we can see, I don't know, ages back, they had 70,000 members. We need to imagine this number. And now they're down to a very smaller amount of this. And here we need to see, where can we support even bigger associations, but also small associations in that way. That's why this year we ask our regional chairmen to focus on the 2 associations within the region where we really evaluate to see what is the need, how we can support them, how we can let them grow, so that we really set a core working team on that we are from an international side support them. But we always need to keep in mind, from an RDI side perspective, we can maybe really just be the strategical engine behind it, but it always needs to go down on a local level. We can just grow on a local level. And there we need to involve really table chairmen. We need to involve area chairmen within associations, that they are also seeing the bigger picture, that we can just grow together. And where's the need, they know the best. And this is the reason why we need to go on a local level. We are a member-driven organization, and we always need to keep this in mind, that we are just here to do service towards our associations. We are not here to tell how things have to be done. We can just provide help, we can just provide assistance, and this is really important. Just to mention some numbers, when we had at the World Meeting this year, we had worldwide around 29,260 members, and compared before COVID, for example, we had nearly 31,000 members. So we can see that still COVID affected us in terms of membership, but we also need to see that how we can really grow. And here definitely is the focus set on, especially the vice president together with the regional chairmen is working on that. And here is where we really need to put a lot of effort together with the local level.
Wow. Roundtable has always been an inverted pyramid, and what better explanation could have been given better than this? As you rightly said, that it is the tables. We are a member-driven organization, and we cannot do anything without that. But I'm sure with the able leadership that we have with us at our associations and at the RT International, we will be able to motivate and ensure that we keep growing and take this organization and this wonderful movement to greater heights. Thank you, Mr. Mark, for this wonderful answer. My next question to our president. As tablers, one thing that binds us very strongly is the essence of giving back to the society in terms of community service. I'm sure this year we are also going to create a lot of history in this field. Can I request you to please enlighten us how we are going to create that big impact with our community service plans?
Well, Sachin, thank you so much for this. I believe community service is something that is really, really important with respect to Roundtable. And we are really focusing ourselves more in getting it more. This year, we have dedicated our year towards mental health. Mental health is something that we really want to promote our community service with. Mental health is something that all the associations at different levels have tried, but now, as a collective body of Roundtable International, we want to promote mental health again. This is very important for us because I believe it is high time that we break the stigma that is associated with this mental health. Sachin, we have lost a lot of brothers with this fear of not knowing that it is okay not to be okay. And this is something we want to promote it from the RT International Board itself. If you see, many of our communication, many of our PR, many of our all the communications that you have it is going through mental health issues now. And I'm very happy to say that many of our associations are getting along with this. We want the ultimate objective that our brothers feel that we are there to help each other. Our brothers feel that we are there with the motto of Tabler for Tabler. We are there to support each other. And apart from this, we would be doing different other community service activities as well. You know, the Movember campaign that is already on, and you can see that we all are actually following the Movember campaign. This is one of the biggest charity projects that we do in a year. And it is really fascinating to see the increased participation and the contribution from all of us every year that is gone by. Apart from that, Sachin, we would be doing lots of activities with respect to education. We will have a month dedicated to it. And from last 2 years, we are also promoting the blood drives. You know, we believe we are the blood brothers, and 1 pint of blood can actually help life of many. So we are doing that as well. Apart from that, you saw the whole RT family got together in our preservation thing. The whole RT family was really supportive of doing the waste challenge. That is just a bit that we do as a contribution towards the environment of ours. So as overall, Sachin, community service activities are going to be there. But most importantly, community service activities are only going to be successful if and only if we have the participation from our fellow brothers, not only from RTI, but also from our other family members. The impact is going to be different, but the intensity is going to remain the same. And that is for what it is, the community service activities.
And if I just would like to add here some points regarding Roundtable International Cares, if I may, it is for me just fantastic actually to see with the, let's say, legal structure Roundtable International created a couple of years back within Luxembourg. We now really can also create a foundation where we are setting the focus on. And maybe then Roundtable International can here become a really big player in that sense of reacting fast and reacting when there is, for example, a disaster anywhere worldwide. We had already many examples in the past with the floodings in Kerala, with the earthquake in Ancona, with the big earthquake in Nepal, where Roundtable International always tried to get donations collected worldwide and to set to the disaster. And here with Roundtable International Cares, we can really create a milestone. And I'm really looking forward to that, of the implementation of this foundation, because this is what Roundtable Future will bring.
That's going to really be huge, joining the abilities of all the tablers worldwide and bringing it to one foundation, the RTI Cares. It's going to be really amazing, and I'm sure the community as a whole is going to really benefit out of this. Thank you, Mr. Vice President. My next question to you, back again. We all know that community service and our fellowship, our brotherhood binds us together. I would like to know more from you. As you already mentioned, that our organization is driven by members. And our members are each of our tablers in the local clubs in each country or each association. How do you think that clubs should work on recruitment? The key stakeholders, me, you, or the board cannot go and get members for someone maybe in India or in Austria or in Nepal. But how should clubs at their local level be able to bring their friends into this wonderful movement?
Well, there is no key success tool and there is no holy recipe how we can get members involved within Roundtable International. It is always depending on the local club. And of course, there are completely different ways how they do. In some clubs, it's working just on a recommendation. In some clubs, they have a list of nomination. In some clubs, they are having really a tool where people can send in a joint request. So there is no big recipe. But everybody who is really keen on joining Roundtable, and I saw one question in the chat earlier, what is Roundtable is about? Yeah, Roundtable is a service organization where you can engage yourself, but it's also a fellowship organization where you really can meet people around the world. And this is something when we really seeing the numbers that, for example, last year we collected more than 60 million euros within Roundtable International, of course, always on a local level and a regional level, then we can see that we can cause an impact. And this is really important. When we are talking about how we are getting new members, I think it's really important to make Roundtable famous on a local level, which means that when you are doing good, then please report in the media, in social media, in newspapers, in at radio stations, whatever. Spread the word what we are doing. And this is one key element how we can gain more membership as well, because some people really do not know what is Roundtable. And we definitely need to set here a focus in a campaign, but this works on a local and regional level where we really can try to make Roundtable famous. And then people are interested, people are joining. And this is actually what we have here in Austria, many examples. If your club is really famous on a local level, then you have a waiting list for members because you cannot take maybe that many. And here this is actually a very good example on that. But when we are seeing that sometimes of course, it always needs to fit. We are sometimes just small clubs with, I don't know, 10, 20 members or maybe 25. And here we definitely need to see that if we are getting new members, then these members also need to see if they are fitting to the rest of the group, that it is a homogeneous group which can lead new projects, which can initiate new activities, which can travel the world together. And here we always need to see. But of course, being also open for new members is also really important. What is Roundtable International offering in that sense? We are having joint requests on the international website where we are forwarding that to the association level when we are getting interested people for their countries. But we also, for example, have a headhunter program. We are soon having a prospect management program where we are, what Roundtable Germany already has for over a couple of years, where we really need to see that if we can recommend someone to another club, to another table, that people are interested and people are joining the association. So here we have different kind of options, how to join, how to create, and we are also working side by side with 41 International, but also with Lady Circle International, Tension and Angora International, where we are trying also to support each other organizations, where we are recommending members, where we are really trying, especially side by side with 41 International is here really important, because of course we are their future, but also they can bring us new members, so that they are also having a win-win situation out of this activity. And here is definitely where we should focus on.
Wow, that was so well put and boxed into so many wonderful ideas that a Joe Tabler in his table can discuss on how to get his friends in. It's all about building the brand in your own city to attract more people to be part of this wonderful elite group, that does a good work and enjoys the fellowship of being together. So I think I would take that as a take, for it. Uh, my question to the president now is, last 2 years, we have seen the RTI PR team, on Facebook, on our events, the way the videos, the way the PR is happening, and the way people are loving it. We see it, by the kind of viewership that we get on our posts, our videos, and the activities that we do on social media. uh, uh, Kudos to you guys, for creating such a wonderful platforms on that. So, how do you really see this as a future and currently getting everyone closer? What do you think is the real thought process behind this wonderful PR that you guys do?
I think, Sachin, consistency, continuity, and stability were the three things that we really wanted to promote this year with. And I think this year, those three words are very much inclined with our PR team. I would really like to acknowledge and clap the efforts of our PR team. That includes George, Mikhail, Paul, and Vimal. And it is widely accepted and seen in our social media platform. Look at the viewership. Sachin, if we don't communicate what we are doing, if we don't communicate how we are actually helping the community, if we don't communicate the different facets of Roundtable International or Roundtable as a movement, if we don't communicate the benefits of it, we don't get the members. And as Mark rightly said, we are totally driven by members. And one of our very known board members always tell me, if there is no members, there is no RTI. And for that, we need to communicate our good things. As Mark said sometime before, we are also planning to do something called the RTI Cares. For any such initiatives, we need to communicate to our target audience. And our PR team is totally in it to communicate the right communication, the right aspects, and the right information to our target audience. And that is why it is going to be really good. We are also continuing with legacy. I think that is going to be another brand of Roundtable International with its magazine. So that is another going to be one of our PR materials in the coming days as well. But yes, our PR team is living to the consistency, continuity, and stability. And led by Paul, I would really like to thank them for their wonderful efforts. Sachin, to make a note, we are also trying to help the associations as well as different levels at the bottom level of our organization as well. Mark rightly said, to success any initiative, it has to go through the table or the area level. And for that, we have to work jointly. So our PR team is not only working with the Roundtable International, but they are also working in tandem and helping associations to get the best use out of their resources.
That was really amazing. And for the knowledge of our viewers, RTI has a very, very strong PR team who would like to connect with you to help you, with a lot of content that can also be used in associations. So do write to us. The PR teams of various associations are already connected. If you would like to know more, do write to us, and we would be definitely here to help you as well. So thank you, Mr. President, for that. My next question is to our VP. We are a dynamic organization. We have our posts, everything just for a year. In 1 year, we are doing, something in our table. Another year, we are doing something at an area or a national level. And another year, we are doing at an international level. And suddenly after that, we may be doing something else. So while that makes us an individual being so strong and so dynamic, I think that, definitely there would be a lot of plans on how do we continue the good work that we keep doing. So continuity is equally important than dynamism. So, could you share with us on how you work on making a long-term plans? Also, considering the dynamic change of leadership that we have within our organization.
Yeah, thank you, Sachin. This is a topic what is really important because when we are seeing over the last years, or when we always talking about the memory of round table, we are talking about a 3 years memory. So after 3 years, discussions are restarting from the beginning, and we always kettling same topics sometimes. And this is some, for example, especially what I also experienced in my own on my own table career when I was a counselor at the floor. Then we had already similar discussions what we had now on the last word meeting or half year's meeting. So it is really important that we really keep a strategy and that we are really focusing on certain points. That's why on an international level, also on an RTI regional level with CEE, AMI, ASPA, NEAR, and SEM, we created so-called 3 years plans. So 3 years plans is something where we really updating it on a regular basis to see what is the plan, because we just have, for example, within the whole RTI board, we just have 2 persons which are staying every year, which is, of course, the vice president is becoming president, and now luckily we voted a couple of years back that we have a 2 years term for secretary and for treasurer alternate, which means that at least one of those positions are staying. And this is something what we actually need, that for example, the president not always need to explain to the full board over and over again the current status and the topics if they were not interested, or if they were not aware of topics which were going on. Just some points what, for example, we are focusing within the 3 years plan. We are focusing how should the growth look like? What are the goals? What are the strategies behind it? How we can assist smaller associations? How we do sustainable expansion. We also need to tell them how to learn, how to grow, and also that we should be satisfied and proud members within our movement. When in regards of the future, of course, branding is a really, really important topic. And what we did over the last years within the branding teams, this is phenomenal. With the Legacy magazine, with how we are appearing on the social media, how we are communicating certain topics, what we are offering to the associations that they are taking over. Just looking at the current campaign with Movember movement, well, my Movember movement is not existing at the moment, but I see my other 2 lovely guys which got shaved. I am preparing for next year, but we can see that here we are doing a phenomenal work within the PR team, and especially to the service. What would you like to achieve? We created a couple of years back the 5 pillars. And of course, these 5 pillars where we are focusing on certain topics like poverty or like table 4 tabler and so on, where we really, really try to lead also this pillars and those projects which we initiated also for the future. And this is really important that but for example, Jayant is starting this year. Within 1 year, you cannot reach all your goals. You cannot implement all the activities and ideas and plans you actually focused on. You can initiate them, but then you also need a team who continues to work on that. And this we also need always to understand that even if we love our dynamic within 1 year portfolios, but here we also need to see how can we take them over to the next level so that the future can work what the past already started.
I think, Sachin, I would like to add on this, as Mark rightly said, there has been many years in tabling. With the change of board, people got lost. Our fraternity got lost because they were not sure as to what was going to be continued, what is going to be changed, what are the innovations that are coming. And what just now our VP said, any innovation requires time to succeed. And that time cannot be done in 1 year. If you see the university itself, the way we have actually evolved in university is because of the continuous efforts of different boards. And if you see, Mark and myself are very confident on one thing that I and Graham were last year. The initiatives that are valuable to Roundtable International, or the initiative that makes an impact in our fraternity will be continued. And we set an example yesterday. We were talking with one of the biggest associations for doing some collaborative work in mental health. And the first thing we had was we want it to be continued and make everyone feel that it's a consistent thing that Roundtable International really promotes. And that is why our PR is very linked towards this aspect of continuity.
Wow. That was, so well put that, the car has four wheels and all the four wheels have to run together. I mean, continuity, the kind of plans that, you guys have made from the past and for the future to create such a strong foundation and for people to, drive on it as well. Just taking from what you just said, Mr. President, what really prompted you, on creating this wonderful RTI University, and how do you see it as a future?
Well, Sachin, that was not me. I remember the call that I had with the then President DK and our Vice President Graham, that why not we also add personal development. Remember, Sachin, our fraternity has an age limit. And the age limit that we have, they have to be very much active professionally as well. And personal development is something that we always want to promote in tabling. The whole concept of RTI University started with those two individuals in a call, and then they added me in their whole journey. When we started, we did have a dream, and I'm very happy to see the dream being lived by you the last year, as well as you taking it to the coming year. RTI University is going to be core towards personality development, value addition, developing and enhancing the leadership skills and the basic capabilities that is required not only in your personal but your professional as well as social life. And I'm very happy to see how RTI University is prospering. And I think taking this opportunity, I would request the viewers to wait and watch for the wonderful modules that are going to be launched by RTI University. For example, we are actually working, Sachin and team is actually working since last 6 months in developing something called a secretary module. I will just name it. I will not give the details. I will let Sachin do it sometime later. So we are actually working in finding different ways in promoting value, leadership, capabilities enhancement, and skill development.
Uh, Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for having the RTI University, and that's why I am here. So, personal development, just to add in, is something so very important. I mean, we are here to give something to the community, to our friends, to our families. But what we take back home as an individual being a family man, as an individual, in our businesses, in our work, in our the way we are around people, it really shapes a person. I think all of us here have more than a decade of experience, at least the three of us in tabling, and we know what it really means to us from within. So it really changes as a person
But
you are.
Sachin, one more thing I would like to add. One more thing, it really changes a person, but I think this is one thing that me and Mark, having worked together in the board for so many years, we have already seen any initiative, any activity, if we have the support from the fraternity, if we have the love and the passion from the associations, areas, and tables. And I think taking this opportunity as it's a start and it's a rendezvous between me and Mark, we would like the associations to come with their feedback, good, bad, ugly, constructive, whatever it is, because the RTI board is year to year, and RTI board is always there to evolve, because we also follow the principle of adopt, adapt, and improve.
And also to add on this, one more thing. It's
Sorry,
also
Sachin, we will not leave you.
I know.
No.
Yeah, but sometimes you always have a distance between the let's say two tabler in associations and the RTI board. But I always say, come on, guys, we are all equal. It doesn't matter which portfolio you're holding,
Yes.
which role you're in, because we're always sharing the same passion for our movement. And just because, I don't know, Jayant, myself, you has a bit more time to spend for the association, and that for example, I don't know, our jobs and our family allow us to run for certain offices, we are maybe holding a portfolio, but it doesn't matter which portfolio we're always having. We are all equal. And I really want also to ask any table, just approach us, talk with us, have a drink, share your stories. It doesn't matter, because sometimes we have heard some rumors, we have heard some people saying, hey, the RTI board is untouchable. Come on, that's not the truth. We always
Actually,
there. We always would love to share stories with you.
Wow, that was so humble. One question to the president, and I would like to ask it to you. Please get ready. It's going to be a little tough one. Taking a cue from the last two comments from both of you, you guys attend so many meetings, travel to so many places, and you are such successful in your own businesses, and we also have a family at home. And still, when we see you, you are ever smiling, so cool, and still motivating everyone else to do more. Where does this energy come from? And how do you think that a person can manage so many things at a time and still enjoy it?
I think, Sachin, as you rightly said, the first thing that would be time management. And I think it is what you enjoy, it is what you have that respect and love for. But if you ask me personally, my own professional work or my own businesses help me do all the things that you mentioned about traveling, meeting, and everything. But I think the biggest support would be my family, my parents, my wife, and my kids. I think roundtable does not go in an individual. Roundtable goes within your family. Roundtable goes not only with you as a person, but the near and dear ones along with you. If they are there to support you, if they are there to lead you, you can do anything in roundtable. And I think Mark and myself would agree, it's also the close fraternity of brotherhood that we share that also motivates us to go ahead. It's your table, it's your association, it's your region. And ultimately, when the whole Roundtable International gives you the love, support, and the ever guidance that you need, I don't think these are anything that is going to make us fall back for anything.
And just in addition, what Mr. President said, it is also the impact we are causing. It's when we see what we can do with our service and charity projects in various areas, because of course, charity projects in Austria are different to them in Nepal. But here we can see when we are causing an impact and when we really see that we supported someone and the feelings, then you're getting goosebumps. And then you say, hey, the efforts, the time you spend for those activities or within Roundtable is worth, because we really can help and support people in need.
Wow, that was only the passion that spoke. And I think from hearing from both of you, I don't think it would be an understatement to say that tabling is a fever that only has to go up in temperature, and you enjoy the temperature. So that's the real beauty of it. And with this, we are coming to the end of this wonderful conversation with these two visionary gentlemen that we had with us. I think I have received one question individually from one person, and I would like to ask it. Both of you can decide who would like to answer, or both of you could answer. Where do you see RTI 5 years from now?
I think I would let Mark answer that first.
You mean the future? Now, where to see RTI? We definitely need to grow in terms of membership, as we need to really be sustainable. When we see that we are decreasing, as just not the ASPA area, but mainly due to the reason of India and Nepal. But we really need to grow that we are existing, because what we are doing is actually fantastic. On the other side, you have we also need to see, I don't know where we see us, maybe with less countries, but with maybe bigger associations, with charitable efforts with an RTI foundation, which is working and supporting globally on a very, very fast way, where I see that even the passion for, because projects we always have initiatives like we had now, for example, in the CE region with the Ukraine convoy, what was created with the support, the big support of Roundtable Germany, and of course all the family members. I think that we also in the future are collaborating maybe on a much more project levels together with our Roundtable family members, that we really can see and try to involve for more common projects. But I've maybe see definitely a change, maybe for example in the Roundtable International structure. Maybe I see a change in membership and associations which are being part of Roundtable, and of course more diverse charity activities, diversity, what we already discussed, that we maybe have it becoming a different set of members. We had a very, very great discussion within the CE meeting, for example, last year, where we were talking about which kind of members are we looking for. For example, what is happening when there is, for example, I don't know, a female person which identifies herself as a male, would like to join Roundtable, then RTI need to find an answer on that, and we already did. And for example, we have the case that as soon as this is registered in an official document, then the person can join the movement. And also opposite with for example, Ladies Circle. And the word is changing, and we as an organization, which is now 95 years old, we also need to change. And this is definitely something where we are going.
Wow.
I think, Sachin, what Mark has specified is totally with what we dream, with the different facets of Roundtable, with membership, with the activities that we do. But on a simple note, where I see Roundtable in 5 years is a more unified global network of brotherhood, where being a tabler is going to be synonymous to the word brotherhood. And most importantly, we all start living the dreams of one team, one dream, where each of us are equal, where each of us respect what we do, and each of us respect each other.
Wow.
Mark, we are not able to hear you. Mark, we are not able
Yeah,
to hear you.
sorry. And this we also, for example, saw when we had the theme of Kai Kostiana, where he had one word, one table, and that when we are really trying to live the theme of the year, like you mentioned already at the beginning of this rendezvous, then we actually see that, of course, we can go as a movement into this direction.
Thank you to both of you for taking us 5 years forward on the time machine and giving us a sneak peek of it. Well, to all the viewers, thank you so much for attending this wonderful table talk. And to all the viewers who would be seeing it post this, as we are available live on Facebook. And please do send us your comments, suggestions, and ideas on how we can make the RTI University more effective, as it is for you. It is for every individual who's watching this. So thank you once again to the President and the Vice President for taking our time together for this wonderful talk show. Thank you. And the next
Thank you so much, Sachin.
Yes, thank you. And the next event would
Thank
be
you so
by
much,
the end of
Sachin.
this month. Yeah.
Yeah, and one more last note, Sachin. What Mark said, I would like to reiterate in it. Guys, as an RTI board, we are as approachable as your fellow member of your table. Please feel to reach us. Please feel to share things with us, and we will be there for you, because we always believe we can and we will. Thank you so much, Sachin. Thank you, Mark.
Sachin. Thank you, guys, and yeah, talk to you soon.